All right, let's talk about a piece of tech that's completely reshaping our world: artificial intelligence. Now, I know it might sound like something straight out of a sci-fi movie, but it's not some distant future. It's already here, and honestly, it's a way bigger part of your life than you probably think.
No, really. I mean, from the moment you wake up and just glance at your phone, you are already interacting with AI. It's not some big, scary, far-off concept. It's more like this invisible engine just quietly humming along in the background of your daily routine. Just think about it for a second. How does your phone know it's you and unlock just by seeing your face? How does Netflix or Spotify seem to know exactly what you're in the mood for? Or how does your email magically filter out all that junk? Well, the answer to all of that? It's AI, working behind the scenes.
So what is this stuff really? At its core, AI is really just about this big idea: teaching computers to do things that, until now, have required human intelligence. You know, stuff we do without even thinking about it, like recognizing a friend in a crowd, understanding what someone's saying, or just spotting a pattern. But how in the world do you teach a machine to be intelligent? I mean, you can't just write a rule for every single possibility in the universe. Instead, you teach it how to learn for itself. And that brings us to maybe the single most important concept in all of modern AI. So let's peel back that first layer.
Okay, this slide shows a really fundamental shift in thinking. On the left, you've got traditional programming. It's simple. You give the computer data and a set of rules, the program, and it spits out an answer. But look at the right. With machine learning, we totally flip the script. We give the computer the data and the answers we want, and we make it figure out the rules. And that set of rules it creates for itself, that's what we call a model.
And that right there, that's the whole idea behind machine learning. It's the part of AI that's all about learning from massive amounts of data. So instead of a human programmer writing every single step, we let the machine learn from thousands or even millions of examples. It's basically learning from experience, just on a scale no human ever could.
So, the best way to think about this is like one of those Russian nesting dolls. AI is the biggest doll. It's the whole field, the big, ambitious goal of creating intelligent machines. Now, machine learning, as you can see, is the next doll inside. It's the most common, most powerful way we actually achieve AI today. So remember, all machine learning is AI, but not all AI is machine learning. So if machines are learning from data, how do we actually, teach them? Well, it turns out there are three main strategies, three different kinds of teaching styles for a machine.
First up, we've got supervised learning. The best way to think about this is like studying for a test when you already have the answer key. We feed the machine tons and tons of examples that are already labeled, like this email is spam. This one is not spam. And over time, it starts to learn the patterns so it can spot new spam all by itself.
Next, there's unsupervised learning. Now, we take away the answer key. We just give the machine a giant, messy pile of data and basically say, figure it out, find the interesting patterns. It's kind of like a detective sorting through evidence, finding connections without even knowing what crime was committed. This is how services can automatically group customers into different marketing segments or organize news articles by topic. And finally, we have reinforcement learning. This one is all about good old-fashioned trial and error. You can seriously think of it like training a pet. An AI agent tries to do something. If it makes a good move towards its goal, it gets a reward, like a little digital treat. If it makes a bad move, it gets a penalty. By trying to get the most rewards possible, it eventually learns incredibly complex strategies. This is exactly how AI mastered games like chess and Go. So let's just recap that real quick. Supervised learning is like having a teacher. It uses labeled data to predict things like spam. Unsupervised is the detective. It finds hidden patterns in unlabeled data, like grouping customers. And reinforcement is the trainee. It learns by trial and error to get better at something, like winning a game. Simple, right? Okay, so we've covered the how of machine learning. But now we're going to go one level deeper, into a really specific technique that is behind almost all of the mind-blowing AI breakthroughs you hear about in the news. Let's go back to our Russian doll. See that? There's another, even smaller doll inside of machine learning. This one is called deep learning, and it is a highly specialized and unbelievably powerful type of machine learning that has totally changed the game in recent years. So to really get what deep learning is, let's think about a problem that seems simple to us. How do you teach a computer to recognize a cat in a picture? You can't just write a program with rules like, if it has pointy ears and whiskers, it's a cat, right? I mean, a cat can be curled up in a ball, hiding behind a couch, in weird lighting. The world is just too complex for simple rules.
So the big breakthrough came when scientists stopped trying to write rules and started thinking, well, biologically. Deep learning solves this problem using things called artificial neural networks, which, as the name suggests, are inspired by the massively complex web of neurons in our own brains.
The way it works is just through, well, practice. A lot of practice. As you can see here, you feed the network thousands, even millions of cat photos. It makes a guess, checks if it was right, and if it got it wrong, it makes tiny little adjustments to its internal connections. And after doing this over and over and over again, it's not following rules anymore. It has built its own kind of intuition for what a cat looks like. It can then spot one in a photo it has never ever seen before.
And all of this, everything we've talked about, brings us right to the cutting edge, to the technology that is making headlines absolutely everywhere and putting the power of AI into pretty much everyone's hands. And here it is, the complete picture. Right at the very core of our Russian doll, that last little piece is generative AI. Now here's the key thing. This isn't a new way of learning. It's a revolutionary new application that uses those powerful deep learning models for a totally new purpose. And this right here, this is the huge leap. Until very recently, most AI was used to analyze and understand the world. Classifying data, finding patterns, making predictions. Generative AI does something completely different. It doesn't just analyze what's already there. It creates things that have never existed before. We're talking entirely new text, images, code, you name it.
And I'm sure you've seen these tools everywhere. We're talking about large language models like ChatGPT that can write a poem, or image generators like Midjourney that can turn a simple sentence into a mind-blowing piece of art. This is generative AI, and it's turning human imagination into digital reality right before our eyes.
So we've gone on this incredible journey, from simple rules to systems that learn, and now to tools that can actually create. It's an amazing evolution. And it really leaves us with what might be the most important question of our time. As these tools get more and more powerful, what do we want them to learn and to build for us next?